local celebrity segment. This is where we recognize our local heroes, or as we like to call them, local celebrities, and show you just who they are and what they do to give back to our community. Today I have with me Violet Smith Gilmore of Gilmore Realty and Property Management. Thank you so much for joining us today.
And thank you for having me.
Okay, so Violet, understand that you have worn many hats in terms of businesses. So tell me, what are some of the business ventures you have been on, and what was your most successful?
Okay, so prior to owning my own real estate company, I had a temp agency, which I started back in the 90s, and did very well with that. I would say I was pretty successful until 9/11 happened, and then I have now 26-year-old son, was 7 at the time, and he got sick, and so I had to stop that business, and then I got into real estate a few years after.
Okay. What were some of the obstacles that you faced on the journey that got you here to where you are now?
Okay, so when I always knew I was going to have my own business from when I was in my teens. So when I opened, and by the way, the reason why I opened up my real estate company was because I was told by someone that I could sell a man with no feet some shoes. And you know, when people have that kind of confidence in you, you say, okay, well, they must see something. So I decided to open up my own real estate agency. And to be honest, when I first opened up, I was a little nervous because I would stare at the four walls all the time, and it was just me in the office. So I kind of had a little doubt, but then I knew I had to push through because I had to be successful.
And how did you know that Gilmore Realty was the one? And is this your final business venture?
Good question. So I feel very confident in what I'm doing right now, because it's a service-oriented business and I like serving other people. So I do feel confident that you know, I'm successful in what I'm doing, but I do feel that I will be doing something more powerful, more, you know, something more out there in the near future.
Okay.
Definitely.
Hey, and so not only you're a business owner, but you also give back to the community. You give school supplies to children, back to school supplies, and you also send out care packages to the community every single year. What inspired you to do that, and what other things do you do for the community?
Well, what inspired me to give out care packages? Well, I have young kids, and I also know that they need, you know, school supplies every year. And I also know how difficult it is for young families to be able to supply their young children with school supplies also. So the agents got together in my office, and we decided to make it a yearly venture, and we just do that every year. And some of the other things that I like to do is mentor young people. If I see in a young person that they have the willpower to maybe venture out on their own, I like to kind of bring them in and have conversations with them to try to see how I can assist them in starting their own businesses as well.
That's wonderful. I think that's very beautiful. Okay, and just as you said, you mentor them. I've also been told that you inspire other, you know, young men and women to start their own business. And, you know, so what would you say to someone that wants to start their own business, but they're afraid to take that leap out there?
Well, first I would say, I would try to figure out like what feeling they have in themselves as far as why they want to start their own business. And it can't just be to make money. It can't just be to get rich, because running a business takes time. And I would want to make sure that they're a service-oriented person, because if you're not, then you won't be successful for very long. So I would pretty much tell them to kind of step back, see what it is that they can enjoy doing while making money, and then make the final decision as to whether or not they want to take that risk.
Okay, and you're doing so much, like so much. You own a business, you're mentoring and giving out care packages every year. You're doing all this, but you still have a personal life. So how do you balance that with being a wife and mother and everything else that you do?
Personal life. Well, it's not easy. I have to tell you, it's really not easy. I thank God I have an able assistant here at the office that's able to help me to run the business on a daily basis. As far as balancing everything, I have to tell you, it's not easy at all. So I just do my best, and I have a very patient family. So when I tell them I'm coming home at 6 and I don't get home till 10 o'clock at night, we'll joke about it. And then, we'll still remain a happy family. But it's not an easy task, and you just have to be a dedicated person. If you have to be a dedicated person, if you're a business person, if you're a mom, you have to be a dedicated mom. And whatever it is that you do, you just have to give 100% at it, and that's just what I do.
Do you have a message or anything that you would like to say to our local business owners, whether small or big, that's out there? And what would you say to them, a word of advice or encouragement?
Well, the best encouragement I would give someone that is either looking to run a business or just starting or even currently in a business is that just follow the golden rule, which is do unto others as you would have them do unto you, which is just to treat others fairly, and be honest and be open, and be willing to accept constructive criticism, because that's the only way that you can grow and do better for the community.
Yes, it's very important.
Yes, it is.
Once again, thank you so much, Violet, for joining us on our segment here today, and had a wonderful time learning about you and the things that you do for our community.
Thank you.
And hopefully we will have you on many more segments in the future.
I hope so.
And to you out there that's watching, thank you for watching Skylink Network Local Celebrity Segments. See you